Last night, Cenla United Jewish Communities hosted an event commemorating when the Israel-Hamas War started. This event was titled The Day After October 7th, 1 year later, and they invited Hananya Naftali as its guest speaker. According to Cenla United Jewish Communities, Naftali is a prominent Israeli speaker and an influencer in the fight against anti-Semitism, terrorism, and assault on the state of Israel. He says it's very important for him to let people know what's going on in Israel and why it will affect us at home.
We are under attack. This is an existential war, and our enemies want to annihilate us, and that is something that we cannot tolerate. This is a war between light and darkness, good versus evil, and I'm sure that people here in Louisiana wouldn't tolerate a rocket being fired at them. We have been under tens of thousands of rockets fired at us, running to bomb shelters. So that is not something that we can tolerate. Israel is at war. We didn't start this war, but we are surely going to end this war victorious.
And October 7th of 2023 marks the beginning of the Israel-Hamas War. Over 1,200 men and women and children, including 46 Americans and citizens of more than 30 countries, were slaughtered by Hamas, according to the U.S. Department of State. Right now, Israel is under a 7 multi-front war, according to Naftali. And while the U.S. has supported Israel and continues to support the nation, the war has affected the state of Palestine, just as severe as tensions in Gaza continue to intensify. Palestine's president addressed the United Nations General Assembly in late September, stating that the nation has been subjected to one of the most heinous crimes of our era. During his speech, he said the war has killed more than 4,000 martyrs in Gaza alone, and thousands still remain under the rubble. It's a crime that has injured more than 100,000 others, according to the Palestinian president.